Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the other theories, the five elements theories. In the philosophy in acupuncture, we mainly discuss the three theories, which are qi theories, yin and yang theories, and then the last one is the five element theories. As we discussed previously, the qi theories is it is the theories we actually imported from the philosophy field. From the philosophy field, that's the Asian culture or the ancient people. They try to understand the whole world, where we come from as a human being, or what's the laws in nature, what's the laws of the planet. So they thought that everything is come from qi. And what's the qi? Qi can refer to anything. And then actually we don't know what exactly it is, but it can refer to anything. But this substance of qi, we focus on the function. We focus on the movement of qi. And then after a while, people realize that only qi is not enough to analyze the whole world. So to understand the whole world from the qi theories is not enough. Then gradually they develop another theories, yin and yang. So they learn from the nature. They concluded the theory, the laws of the nature into yin and yang theories. So for the qi, the whole of qi is separate in yin qi or yang qi. So these two categories, two groups, and then they studied what's the relationship between these two groups. That's how they analyze the world more in details. And then also only from yin and yang theories, it only indicated two groups, either yin or yang, or only male or female in humans. And gradually, the ancestors they found that these two theories were still not enough to understand the complicated world, such as although in humans we group humans into male and female, which are yang and yin, and then what's the relationship between humans and animals, the humans and plants. So because yin and yang theories only refers to interrelated substance or interrelated objects, it refers to the opposite sides of interrelated objects. So in order to apply yin and yang theories, the objects or the substance we're going to apply there must be interrelated. If they are not interrelated, we cannot apply yin and yang theories. So we will not be able to understand the phenomena among different multiple objects. So gradually, there's another theories was developed. That's the theories we're going to introduce now, the five elements theories. The five elements theories. From the definition, you will see the five element theory. The five elements includes the five basic substances which are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. From the definition, you will see that in the five element theories, we actually admitted that the five elements are substance, are a kind of substance. So that they are the actual objects such as wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. That's the actual stuff we can see in our nature. And it is an ancient philosophical thought that study the concept, characteristics, and laws of generating, controlling, insulting, and overacting. It is used to explain occurrence, development, change, and interrelationship of all objects in the universe. So from these theories, we actually study the relationship of these five elements, same as yin and yang theories, same as the qi theories. All the theories we concluded from the nature, and then, such as yin and yang theories, initially yin and yang we have discussed before, as yin and yang refers to the yang refers to the southern part of the mountain or the area where facing the sun, enjoy the sunshine more. So, and then we conclude the characters of this group of objects, and then we group them into yang categories. Same as here, we learn from different substances in the world, in the nature, such as wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And then we study the characters of these phenomena, or the characters of these systems. We put them in groups. So sometimes you will be confused when you use the wood. What does it mean by wood? What does it mean by fire? Or if you empty these kinds of wording, it's very easy. You change the name, category A, category B, or category C. We got five categories theories, but in this case, it will become more complicated. It's because if you use category A, B, C, D, and E to refer to the five elements, it's more difficult to understand the interrelationship among the five elements. Because same as the yin and yang theories, we don't focus on what they are, although we will introduce what they are, but we focus on the relationship among them, the movements among them, such as the same as the movement of qi, the relationship between yin and yang. So when we study the five elements, we also focus on the relationship in these different groups. In 金匮要略, 金匮要略 is the second part of 伤寒杂病论, which from the history we have said that's one of the four classic 伤寒杂病论, and this book was written about 1,800 years ago, about 159 AD to 221 AD, the author. So that's about 1,800 years ago. In that book, it describes one case or one law, one principle of the treatments that it says that patients suffer from the liver problem. In the treatments, we need to focus on the spleen because we know that the liver problem will transfer to to the spleen. That's why if we strengthen the spleen directly, we can prevent the disease develop into worse stage, into a worse stage. So from this case, this principle is that someone got liver problem, and then someone have a liver problem, and then for the treatment principles, we need to strengthen the spleen. We need to help the spleen. What's the reason? What's the knowledge behind this principle? And this is actually the principles we use in our clinics. In our clinics, sometimes we will see some patients with hepatitis. A patient with hepatitis, one of the most typical symptoms is the eyes become yellow, and the skin also, sometimes the skin become yellow. We also cause jaundice. So this kind of patient, if you have the chance to observe, you will see this kind of patient, their digestive system sometimes is not that good. They don't want to eat, or especially they don't want to eat something oily. So some greasy foods they don't want to eat. And this is when we study the Zangfu theories, you will see the spleen function actually in acupuncture theories. We more refers to the digestive system. So as you can see from here, someone got hepatitis, the inflammation in the liver, and then in clinics you can see they lose their appetite. What's the relationship here? Why a patient with liver problem will lose their appetite? Also, in the other case, for instance, if someone broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and then you can imagine in this relationship, once they broke up, you think they will have good appetite or they will have poor appetite. So that's another case. If someone feels sad, or such as in the situation that they broke up, and then they also lose their appetite. What's the reason, or what's the law behind these phenomena? Why someone will lose their appetite when they feel sad? After studying the 5 elements theories and the Zangfu theories, then you will understand that's why the liver problem, the actual liver problem, or the emotions problem, especially for sadness, why they will affect the appetite. So that's the 5 elements theories. What we focus on is the relationship among these different elements, and we use these relationship to apply into our practice. So the 5 elements, the actual substance: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. We can see from the wood, we're going to introduce a little bit. Wood refers to, so it is from, it was from the nature. So for the plants, such as the plants, the wood, in spring, the plants start to grow. So something is growing, we will put them in the category of wood. And also, if you can imagine this, in the wood, in the plants, if we limit the space, so for instance, if you grow one plant, but you limit them in a container, you don't want them to grow, you can grow them into a container. Will the tree grow well or not? So if you limit the space, you limit the branches to move around, you will cause abnormal. So that's the similar characters of wood. The wood is growing, anything is growing, and wood is the plants grows in spring more, and the plants hate limitation. If you limit them, they don't like it. You will cause abnormal. So that's the characters of wood. When the limitation in the nature, in our human body, we call stagnation. Stagnation is something blocked. Very similar if the tree was blocked in this space and it have to grow within this space. That's abnormal part of the wood. So anything growing, and also the wood, as you can see, the branches, they're very soft. They're very flexible. So anything very soft or flexible, we also put into the category of wood. The second is the fire. The fire, you can see the characters of fire. The fire is hot. The flame moves outward. That's why we cook. You bright on top of a flame, or on top of the flame, on top of a fire. No one will cook underneath the fire because the heat move outwards. So anything move outwards, we put in the category of fire. Everything is very hot, we put in the category of fire. And then the earth. The earth is also, we prefer to use the earth because that's the everyone admits on globally everyone use the earth. It's actually referred to the soil. So the soil where things can be planted. We plant the soil, we plant the plants in the soil, in the earth. So everything can grow from here. Everything can get nutrition from the soil. Something can supply nutrition. Then we put them into the category of the earth. Metal. Metal is hard and sharp. So anything which is hard and sharp, we consider as metal. Water. Water generally cold and moving downwards. So anything have the character of moving downwards. Similar character we put in the category of water. So as you can see here, these 5 elements we discussed here, we actually use this name: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. We use these 5 elements used as the title of a different group of objects. So we actually, in the 5 elements theories, we actually put everything, all systems in the world, we put them into these 5 categories, and then we use these 5. We study the relationship among these 5 characters, these 5 categories, 5 groups, and then we understand the relationship between different objects. So in nature, you can see here the 5 elements. 5 elements on here, the wood, the fire, the earth, the metal, and the water. And spring, the wood, the plants grows in the spring, and in spring we got more wind, and the plants is green. So in this table, why we put all these stuff, all these objects from nature in this group? There actually some theories behind this table, but because same as the yin and yang theories, you do not focus on the philosophy itself. So we're not going to discuss a lot in here why they put together, but you actually can find something similar. Some of them, like fire. Fire, I told you previously, this fire refers to something hot or something moving outwards. So summer, you know, it's hot, so we put in fire. In the southern parts of the country, it's hotter than the northern part, so they put in the fire. And while fire is hot and the water is cold, and then the northern part is cold, so we put the north in water category. So these are different categories. The sum of these, what's important here for the 5 elements theories is you need to remember the two table, the other tables at the back. You need to remember these two tables, and the theories we study is from also more in here. You see the 5 elements also related to the music, do, re, mi, so, la. The music here. These sounds related to different elements, and if in some condition they go to the next page. You see the 5 elements here. They also related to different organs. So when we got different organs proper, we can use the music to treat the diseases. How to treat diseases? That's also from the 5 elements. The wood related to the liver, to the gallbladder, tendons, and ligaments. The emotions related to the anger and orifice, eyes. Fire linked to the heart, small intestine, vessels, joy, tongue. The earth, spleen, stomach, muscle, varied, mouth, metal. The lung, large intestine, skin, sad, nose, and water. Kidney, bladder, bones, fear, ears. So sad or varied is the emotion. Why the emotion will affect different stuff. That's also the relationship, because these emotions can affect each other according to the relationship of the 5 elements. So from here, in order to discuss our theories, or in order to study in future the Dangfu organs, when we study the different organs here, different organs, what's the relationship between 2 organs or among different organs? We also can use the 5 elements theories to study the liver and the heart. What's the relationship between liver and heart? What's the relationship between the spleen and liver? So you can study the relationship between the wood and fire, or the relationship between the wood and the earth. And also sometimes why some diseases will be worse in winter. Why some diseases can be alleviated in winter or in summer. That's also because of the relationship of these 5 elements. Sometimes they can help each other, sometimes they will make each other worse. That's why we need to study here of the 5 elements. And for this 5 elements theories, these 2 tables, we have to remember them. There will be a lot of questions from these 2 tables in your test. How to determine different objects into 5 element systems. So this we actually have mentioned just now, where it says in the sullen parts, the hot, and then the wood. In the sullen part it's hotter, and then the fire is hotter. That's why we said the sullen part is the fire. So from the analogy, A equals B, B equals C, we will know from A equals C. Right? That's similar. Why we put water, cold, and north? Why we said the north is in the water category? Why the north is water category? That's because water and cold. So we put the water as A, cold as B, C. So water is cold, and the north is also cold. So remember, this theory happens in the north. So in the north of the earth, in the north of the earth. So in the north, in general, it's colder. That's why A related to cold, B related to B. That's why we said A related to C. So that's why we put a different stuff. The fire, the hot, and the south are quite similar. That's also exactly why you see sometimes we can have a picture here for millets. That's a grain you can find in this can. And then the millets, if you don't know what's the millets can benefit our body, how millets can benefit our body. So you can see this kind of grain, the color is yellow. And then from the table, you can see from the previous slides, the previous 2 slides, and the yellow is related to the earth, and the earth is related to in human being is related to spring. So the millets is actually in the category of the earth, and then can benefit the spring. That's how we can apply the grain into our practice. What should tell us what kinds of clinical efficacy the grain has. A similar way to determine the objects. Inference. The water related to kidney. Kidney in the theories related to the hair, to the bones, to the ear, also related to the bladder. Is the kidney and bladder are the paired organs or coupled organs. So these we're going to discuss in the Zangfu theories. But also from here, because of these 4 aspects, these 4 substances related to kidney, and kidney related to water. That's why we says these 4 aspects, these 4 substances also related to water. So that's how to determine how to put different objects in these 5 categories. So the 5 elements, just the 5 different names, 5 different groups of the objects. In next video, we are going to introduce the contents of the five elements theories. So the content of the five elements theories is focused on the relationship among different elements, and this is actually the most important part we are going to focus on, and we're going to study, we're going to understand what's the relationship between different organs, between two organs, or what's the relationship among multiple organs, and how to apply these laws in our practice. So that's one of the most important aspects we're going to focus on. And then also when we study these kinds of theories, the five elements, the wood, the fire, the earth, the metal, and the water, it is actually quite similar to the previous theories such as qi and yin and yang theories. We have mentioned quite a few times that do not focus on the medical terms or these Asian terms of wood, because these just the title. And no, if you prefer not to use, or if you don't feel comfortable to use these terms, you can actually think if you change the title as A, B, C, D, E, such as the wood. The element wood, you call the element A, they're exactly the same, but in this situation, you will make it more complicated, because the category A, if you use the words category A or group A, you will never understand what's in the group A. The reason why we keep this kind of old saying or this kinds of titles, names, such as the wood, that's because if you use these words, these old medical terms, if you have an image in your brain, such as if you think about the group or the category of wood, then in your brain you actually can imagine that the tree is growing, and also the branches, the leaves is very flexible. So everything is growing, or anything has the character of flexibility, and everything that's don't allow to be limited in certain area. So these are the categories of a tree that you can imagine in your brain. Then you can put everything in this group. Everything has the character of growing, of the flexibility. Then that's group of the wood elements. Same as the other elements. That's why we use these terms. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to introduce the content.